Good morning. Welcome to Of Darkness and Light. This is Daphne Garrido. I am Ophelia Everfall. Welcome to Dykes Mode. I just wanted to have a quick conversation about executive dysfunction this morning and Gloria. I'm going to do a couple quick videos, this one and then another video where I'm talking again about the humanitarian organization that I hope to put into place, and more of my discovered ideals of living with schizophrenia, and the truth of like the kind of help that I really feel myself to need from another person. But yeah, update for those who are following me: nobody's helping. I don't have donations. I'm cutting it by to make my rent by the thinnest margin, and I have to get food and stuff today, and it's just like, I don't know what the hell to do. And I need dental work, and I need to be set up on disability, and I need somebody to help me like go to the appointments and set the appointments. And yeah, it's like I got message back from humanitarian organization, and it's like, here's another place to call. Here's another, you can come in here. And it's like, okay, cool. I would go in there if somebody would go with me. So that's the kind of place that I'm in. And I still have just a wicked executive dysfunction from very specifically like one person, dude. That's why I'm speaking into the ether about how they need to, is because it's literally like I'm like condemned to a life of really, really horrendous executive dysfunction unless somebody decides to take down a restraining order and speak to me, or just speak to me, or find a way to speak to me, dude. It's like, ugh. It's just ridiculous. The restraining order needs to come down too, or I'm going to fight it in court, because it's like, it's unlawful, and it has taken my livelihood from me. I've lost my job, and it was a reaction towards the negligence towards a disabled woman who's clearly disabled, who's clearly asking for help through delusion. And it's made the court complicit. It's made the state complicit in going against its own laws. It's in the record. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna find a lawyer to shred everything for me. But I don't want to do it at people who don't really deserve it, because they didn't understand what was going on, and it's a difficult situation when somebody's being crazy with executive dysfunction. So I'm trying to pick the right targets, but I have to take the first target, and the first target is the person who has the restraining order on me that is crippling everything in my body, because it's making the government that's already so empowered to disempower trans women, just like have it in writing that I'm the problem, right? When I am the victim. Schizophrenic people are victims, and that's something I'm going to talk about today. That's why I love Gloria, because Gloria is a victim, and she's terrorizing, and she's crazy. But I believe that somebody reading that fiction will feel bad for her, especially when it comes to the parts where she's actually going to be sweet. It's like, can you imagine Gloria being a sweetheart and then finding out that's all she ever really wanted to be, but she had to become what she is? Because that's what I am. I'm a warrior like Gloria, where I'm just like, I'm being mad out of executive dysfunction that is multiplied times 1,000. But it's like, those are my dysfunctions magnified. And it's a tale that will be resonant with trans women everywhere, I believe, because it's the automatic spite responses you're fighting from the way that you're denied for who you are by everyone, even the people who are supposed to be on your side, right? In subtle ways. And it's just like such a real problem. Trans misogyny needs to be recognized for what it is, which is a root of evil, dude. It's a root of evil. Trans misogyny specifically, it's a root of evil. Because through that, it demonizes all feminine expression in men. And it takes humanity's most precious, vulnerable, sweethearted women, trans women, because it's innately sweet and vulnerable to be in the wrong body as a woman. It's worse for that sensibility of emotionality than being a man in a woman's body. There's just so much more of a barrier to being seen and recognized for who you are, even by those who love you, and it creates a situation that is tragic. And what's more tragic than people projecting how bad it feels that civilization treats trans women the worst at trans women for existing? That's called genocide, and that's what happens even in liberal communities. And I'm going to continue talking about it because that's what makes Gloria's, and that's what's made me, on top of abuse and the fact that I use plant medicines, and I've been kind of a schizzy person for years, and a mystic, and somebody who had the propensity to use plant medicines. And so I got abused and became overtly, acutely schizophrenic, and it's not what you think it is. Schizophrenic people, I'm not going to say there's no such thing as a schizophrenic psychopath murderer person, but that is a fucking stereotype that doesn't make sense to me at all as a schizophrenic person, because I am a schizophrenic person. And you know what I do? I shout and I bluster, and then I sit here, and then I'm sad about it. And that seems like what every schizophrenic person does, from my perspective, is that they're big of mouth, they're big of emotions, they're hurt themselves. It's like we are self-harming through how we speak to people. We self-harm when we want to get violent, because there are, I'm sure there are, but I'm saying that I am a type of schizophrenic where I cannot even imagine doing violence. I write it in my stories, and it's such a release when I'm able to do it, but it's still a huge block for me because I do not like violence. But my executive dysfunction makes me feel violent towards the world. And when I feel into that, I recognize that it was there before I was schizophrenic, and then I see it in other people. People are suppressing a violence held in their body, and they're putting it onto themselves. And there needs to be some kind of outlet for that, right? And so that's what a healthy outlet for video games is to express the violence that's in our bodies. But we need to understand what it is. We can't let it become some addictive pastime. It's that is for release. That is like going into the woods and screaming your guts out. That's better. That's better. But I'm not doing the screaming anymore. I screamed 100 times a long time ago, and I'm pretty done screaming. I've screamed my screams out. I cannot recommend enough screaming 100 times until your voice is hoarse for days if you're really sad about something. It will draw up the answers to why. It will lead you to figure out how to finally find clarity from your situation, even if it takes some really, really cruel life circumstances, and then being on the very brink of becoming homeless, and having to deal with months and months of really up and down throbbing tooth pain, as you have no one to help you get set up on insurance, nobody to help you get disability, nobody to help you live, and everybody just sits back and watches. And so I do appreciate you watching and listening, especially if you're not somebody I know who is just not helping me. And if you are one of those people, I just encourage you to forgive yourself, I suppose, because I know it must feel bad the more clarity I come into to realize yourself having being standing back in a way that is unhelpful to somebody that understands truly that they don't need medicine. It's where is it written that a schizophrenic person has to take medicine. Where? Like, where is that? Google. Like, why is every single place I go for help pipelining me to medicine? Why? Are we not a place that respects individual like beliefs? Like, I have religious and spiritual beliefs that are non-denominational. I'm taking back the word pagan because I know it has a stigma, but it has a stigma that is in reverse of the truth, which is that paganism is hot, dude. It means taking the good, leaving the bad, trusting your heart. Oh no. Oh no. It's just because pagans became witches, right? Because there is a confusion about what witch is. And there is, magic is real, but it's from the inside out, and it is not something that you can wield against other people. The magic comes back on you 3 times, right? That's because it doesn't do shit. It just makes you feel really bad and have to pay attention to how you have done something completely immoral, trying to change the fabric of the universe just for yourself. And you're gonna have to deal with that and deal with that and deal with that. You have to integrate how you have made a mistake of morality. And there's nothing that changes. I believe people who are mystics, who think that they're like, I'm manipulating the future. It's like, you are maybe getting glimpses through body intelligence, if you're lucky, or just through like good guesses, pattern matching kind of stuff from your subconscious. Like that's what's going on, right? It's like, it's a combination of it. I believe there is DNA intelligence that has some kind of like fabric of our world and our universe written into it that we can source. Because I have stuff that comes out of me that feels like it's from really low. But I also know that there's just a huge portion of your subconscious that is a pattern matching God, right? And it's like, if we call intuition whatever we call it, but it's like, how do we know we're all not just like harboring our own little Sherlock Holmes that speaks to us in whatever way we will accept it, right? It's like, the way that I have had to recognize my subconscious's play into my psyche as a schizophrenic mirrors back to how I lived before I was a schizophrenic. Everybody's dealing with these problems. And so if we help schizophrenic people like me help other schizophrenic people, we will have all of these different perspectives of people that do this kind of healing that can then offer that wisdom to everyone. And then instead of making schizophrenics this like thing we just kind of genocide out of existence and onto pills and into homes and onto the street and dead and gone, we can take schizophrenia and we can make it into something that's kind of sick, that like helps civilization move towards body intelligence. Because it's like, I'm talking about how I have to live in truth of who I am and what my body is. And so that's hot, dude. It's so affirming for my womanhood, because I'm down here and I'm like, there's no part of my body that's like, remember you're a boy. Not at all, dude. It's like, I'm a male. That's something that I want to acknowledge. And I mean, I apologize if you don't use that language. I would never use it for you, but that's what I am. I'm a male woman. And that is not an ideology. That is a fact to me. And that is just language. And I will not say that to other people. But I'm saying it here in my space. I am a male woman. And when I write political pieces in the future, which have just been the angriest things I've ever written, because I hate doing it, I don't want to. Every time I write something political, I'm just like, fuck it. I've been thinking about this thing forever. I'm just gonna puke it, dude. I will just be better. I will not write those when I'm because I just write those as a pure executive dysfunction max out, where I'm like, I have to get rid of this. I have to get rid of this thing that I've been sitting on. So if I do it a little sooner, it's just like, I don't like it. I don't care. I just don't want to, I want to be creative. That's why I'm loving Last Rites of Empire so much, is it's bringing me back into my storytelling in a way that is correcting my executive dysfunction by being such a brutal expression of release for the trauma that I'm currently undergoing. So it's allowing me to communicate in a way that's more healthy, because that's what happens is if I write something sweet, if I write the first chapter of Princess Starlet and the Icon, if I write too much, oh, it was killing me. Aura Asunder had so many sweetheart moments, and even though I was lacing in all this terrible stuff, it was like, wow, there's a lot of sweetness in here. And I had to keep balancing it, because if I'm sweet in my writing to the future, and then I turn around and there's nobody who will be my friend, and nobody will recognize that my writing's really cool and support a disabled woman, nobody will just support a schizophrenic disabled woman. There's all this stigma I'm fighting. There's this huge wall of bullshit I'm fighting. Yeah, no, I just want to, the only way I can communicate then out of that math is fuck you to death, you know, like expletives about my penis. And that's what it is. So when I write Gloria, I can come in and I can do a little better. And so this isn't the best, because that's the thing, is I'm not trying to use my tank of executive dysfunction balance to speak really, really positively right now. I'm trying to do it kind of neutrally, where I'm just being earnest and letting some of my executive dysfunction lashing out just come through in my language to make me feel at home from just like channeling my subconscious. But I'm going to do a video about the foundation, the humanitarian cause that I want to begin, the haven for schizophrenics. I'm going to do that again today, next, and I'll put on a little music, because that's the way I do it. I'll put some things really sweet on, or whatever I need to, a little lower than before. But I'm going to get it out, where I'm going to communicate what I want to communicate with as much kindness as I can. But then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to be facing all the same challenges. My teeth are going to hurt. Nobody's going to be my friend. Nobody comes, like, it's like I know I'm blackmailing people with a PlayStation 3 collection. That's the thing too. It's like, it might be really sad to you that I'm buying a PlayStation collection, but it's like, dude, people are superficial. And I'm like, who wants to come play games with me? Dude, I got the best. It's like the console people missed out on, dude. I love things that people don't know are the best and that are the best. And PlayStation 3 was like the best console ever, dude, right from the start. It's just like it got a little bit of a slow start, because people were like, oh, I don't want to buy this shitty, like, Tony Hawk, whatever the fuck it was, the one where you like do slow motion grinding and it sucks. And it's like, that was a game that came out. And then like Layer. You're like, I don't think I need one of those. That's like $600, right? They released it so expensive. But like everybody just hopped out, and it's like, yo, that's the best system ever, and it's got the best pile of games, and those discs last. And it's like, shit, dude, I got the hottest game collection ever. Because guess what? New games suck. Playing games with the remaster is not great, man. It's like, I want the Mass Effect trilogy on my PlayStation 3, dude. I want to ride that elevator, man. It's like, that was how the art was created. There's like a soulless layer to all the like HD remakes. It's like, let's just make it super 4K and HDR. And it's like, okay, these people developed this, like sometimes hundreds of people for years. And we're just gonna give it to a team of like 12 kids to make it HDR and think that that's gonna not like mess with the art, dude. So that's my vibe. I'm just kind of rolling. But yeah, if you're listening, again, please understand, I know this is confusing. And I know that I've been very aggressive and mean, but just like I need grace from forgiveness, grace from forgiveness. I don't even, like, it's like, I don't want to have to apologize ever again. I want somebody to realize I've been boxed into this corner. Realize we all kind of have. Everybody's working with an executive dysfunction layer of spite from the civilization we live in, and that's real. But it's unbeatable for schizophrenics. There's no way through. Schizophrenia with executive dysfunction is a Penrose steps. I cannot escape until I get help from a human being who cares. Mine is trapped around the fact that no single human being will help me appropriately or be my friend. I think either one of those would fix it. And people are my friend from a distance, but I have to tell you, I'm not accepting friendship that doesn't include like hanging out in person and communicating on a regular basis. Because there are so many people that are like, hey, I'm your friend, dude. And then I reach out and I don't hear from them for days and days and days. And then like they never respond. And it's like, you're not my friend. So that's what's up. And I would like friends. And I'm sorry that I call it out how I see it. I'm not sorry how I call it out how I see it. That's one of my biggest problems right now is I see layers of people underneath that are true, and I know they're true, and people don't like it. I Sherlock Holmes people right in front of them, and then I go right for the guts, dude. And I can't help myself sometimes when it's about trans misogyny, even if it's under the layer where somebody's pretending to be nice. It's like I got messages from my family that were like old school boomer gaslighting screeds full of like, we love you bullshit, full of like, this is how it is, like let me tell you about my life. And then right in the middle, there's one line that's basically like, we'll get over the fact you're trans and be okay with seeing you someday, maybe if the world makes it so, yeah, you can't pretend you're a woman anymore. Because these are just like Republican people I wanted to break through with being human, right? Being like, will you help me? I know you don't agree with me, but you don't need to be perfect with the language. You just need to respect me. And they're like, nope. But anyways, yeah, I'm like, can you read my writing that's like world-class writing and recognize that you have a relative that even though they are ideology, which isn't even ideology, it's just like my personal, genuine, authentic identity, needs help, and could potentially like make you back way more money selling the books that they can write infinitely if they don't die because their fucking teeth are rotting. Like, anyways, that's a concern of mine. It's just very unhealthy to have bad teeth, and I've had a tooth situation for a while, and it's aching, and they're not rotting. I had dental work done, halfway. I had two things that are in there. I had a temporary filling and a temporary crown. My temporary filling has fallen off, and I have like just like an empty tooth half, because like one of my teeth kind of like sharded. Not a good situation there. I had two teeth that were really close together for a long time, and it was just not a good situation. Didn't go to the dentist for a long time, took the wrong bite of food, took a chunk of tooth out. Went eventually, when I was having the worst nerve pain I've ever had in my entire life from two teeth at once, to a dental clinic that charged me $500 to put in like temporary stuff that fell out, that I've gone back and got more temporary stuff because I don't have the money to just get a filling and a crown. And now I don't have insurance, and people are like, here, apply for Apple Care, but guess what? You need a disability diagnosis to do any of this the way that's appropriate for you. So yeah, and I'm just like, okay, can somebody help me? Because I'm frozen, because executive dysfunction does that. And it's like, I need help. I need help getting help, dude. Very personal, very unique, and I'm sorry that that's what's going on, but I don't even know where to go anymore. Hello, I'm Gloria. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try and maybe write some of Gloria being a crazy person before I do, because I feel kind of more locked down in my dysfunction right now. Because I'm pissed. Because I have to keep explaining this still. I need help so bad, dude. But that's what I'm saying. Merge some shit with Gloria. I'll balance it out. I'll be okay. People will be like, why are you writing and not getting help? Because I can't. But hey, maybe help will come. Maybe it'll be another packet at the door. I don't know, but I hope it's not. I've been dodging packets from my ex, who is trying to just serve me with a divorce paperwork, which is something we've wanted for a long time, but they've chosen to not do it until now. And I'm just smelling bullshit, dude. I think they're trying to work me, so I'm trying to get help in the short term so that I can approach that situation with some kind of like legal fortitude, because I need to protect my rights as a future parent and a disabled woman from my ex who is divorcing me on legal paperwork they had drafted. So please help. Thank you. All right, bye. Oh, I was so nice. I was like driving out of here yesterday, and the person showed up with the paperwork and was like, and I just like waved at him and drove fast. So if you're trying to serve me, it's not working. But you should just send me a message about it. My ex did, but that's why I'm still just dodging that one, because I need help first. I need somebody to help me look at that and not get totally exploited by an ex who knows I have executive dysfunction but is not really been helping me the way I need. So and not helping me trust them. So anyways, I hope you have a good one.